Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Secrets of the Malediction. I am Pat, and today we're doing a battle report for my Ingor deck that I've been playing. We're playing against Loki, who's playing Sigrith. So this deck is something new I've been playing around with. I think it's going to be very strong. It is essentially 21 units and 9 spells. And all the spells are channel spells to benefit from Ingor's legacy. And then most of the units are small cost, just trying to swarm the board, 2s and 3 drops. A lot of clumsy units in here as well. So taking all the clumsy units, Crucial Spore, Terric Beast, and the Flesh Rippers, and even the Stitch Corpses. So a lot of clumsy stuff, but it's all so cheap, so you're getting a lot of value off of Ingor's Legacy, which whenever something dies, you flip a card. If it is a spell, you can play it, which is, the 9 spells that I have in my deck are all channel speed, so you'll get value if you happen to hit one of those. Otherwise, you discard it and you gain 2 Echo, which is actually a pretty, it's a bit deceiving in how much it actually can ramp you. And most of the things I'm playing, like I said, are 2 or 3. So something's dying, and I'm getting the echo back for it, and it just allows you to really flood the board really quickly and come out super aggressive. So turn one, I play Thrice and the Boar and the Terric Beast. Really, I am trying to run past my position. I didn't do train placement here. I'm playing Shattered Halls with this. Loki with Sigrith is playing the pathways. Um, so I'm just trying to spread it out, make the Shattered Halls train, make sure I can keep things open because I have a lot of units, so I don't really want to create choke points. But then for Husk placement, I'm actually trying to. I placed that first one dead center of the table because I'm trying to get unfair advantages on terrain placement here. My army is very, very fast with the Terric Beast and uh, um, the Cursos Boar. So I can run past, I'm not stopping to get the ones that I know are closer to my deployment zone. I'm running past them and I'm trying to grab as much and quickly as possible. Here I do a really bonehead mistake. Typically, unmaking a priest is a great first turn move. In Magic the Gathering, we call this bolting the bird. There's a spell, costs 1 mana. It's bolt or shock, lightning bolt. Sorry, does 3 damage, and old school Magic players. There's another card called Birds of Paradise, which would give you resources as a 1 drop and ramp you. So this is kind of the Malediction equivalent of if they play a priest, and you can do unmake to kill it. That is a great turn 1 play, but Sigrith can discard a card and shield some of the damage, which I just completely blanked. So that was a big oopsie there by me. So yeah, first turn, just running, trying to grab Huss that I know he's not going to have speed to get. He does have Rogarth on the table, which is a bit concerning, but I know that if Rogar shoots out there to try to contest this thrice or something like that, he is going to be kind of off on an island by himself, in which case I can just kind of dogpile. So he needs to be pretty conservative, I think, turn 1. He's going with all his early activations, just praying, ramping a ridiculous amount with the 2 priests. So I am taking a more conservative approach. I would have liked to have run this dog and locked down all 4 relics so that he couldn't grab them, but I'll just block off so I can guarantee this middle one with the skeleton here. So yeah, like I said, there's 1 relic in my deployment zone that I just ran right past. I will get that eventually, right? Like there is no, I can only pick up 2 anyways in the first turn. So better to take more forward ones that are going to be contested rather than the one here that I'll know I'll get eventually, right? I can deploy anything in my deployment zone to pick that up in eventual round. So already I'm getting 30. He kind of also is now realizing that you cannot move Rogar through that terrain. Large bases can't fit there, and it can't fit in the other window as well. So it's a good thing to note for people playing on Shattered Halls. So he has to go kind of the long way around to go and pick this one up. And the reason why I didn't deploy these archers in my hand is, I have other fast things like Thrice and the Terric Beast here. that can get up the board quicker than the skeleton archers could, right? So it's better to hold these in hand, and then I can drop them wherever I see if he's committing a certain way. So if he were to go after Thrice really like fast or something and engage him, I could position my archers in a way to kind of help clean him off and be able to threat there. Whereas if I deploy him turn one, who knows where I run them to? Maybe one stays back in the deployment to pick up this relic. Maybe another one is going, more middle, and then they'll be out of position later in the game. So um, keeping these in my hand not only, allows me to be more flexible in how I'm deploying them, but also it hides information, and I haven't committed too heavily to one side of the board or not. So it kind of reveals or hides more information from my opponent. All right. So he's ramping a ridiculous amount. I think he gained 6 last turn during the round, and now another 4, so he has 10, if not more than that, which is a lot. So here I play 2 archers. Again, just trying to set up positioning so that I can, you know, threaten the side of the board. But Thrice here is, or not Thrice, Rogarth here is pretty dangerous. I do have to respect his start ranges. So here I'm just wanting to invite him in and kind of build up a lot of my forces, and then just really just fight for, you know, board state or positioning rather. So if I can somehow catch him out of positioning, that would be the most ideal. Because again, essentially the score right now is 30-10. I only need 10 more masteries. So if I can kill Rogarth and one other thing, or 3 smaller things, that's essentially my path for victory that I'm looking at right now. The other thing I want to call out with Ingor is just do not worry about the discard mechanic, right? I would never, I don't think there's any card, even Thrice, is really worth holding on to. Just kind of play tempo and play out as many cards as you can. And don't worry about proccing the legacy, discarding something. There's nothing more critical in this deck than just getting bodies on board to out activate your opponent. And here, this is actually a really bad matchup. He ramped really hard and he's flooding the board more than I am. Which is kind of why I wanted to highlight this as a first game, right? So I'm wanting to out activate him, get a bunch of bodies on board, have him go, maybe he commits something, and then I can go and kill with all my activations. But he's actually out deploying me, which is not ideal. So I have to be a little bit more cagey here, and kind of I want him to come into me and commit into me. So that's why I'm kind of taking a more defensive position, waiting until I can potentially draw more cards and get more bodies on the table. I'm going to skip a couple of these early turns. He's just going with priest and activating, and I'm just repositioning here to, bide my time until I get more turns, essentially. The one downside is that if he's playing a lot on board, then he's not going to be able to benefit from his legacy as much with the protection. So I think that in that regard, playing on it's better for me to play if we're just both playing on board because I can always benefit from my legacy and top decking spells to surprise him or kind of change the game state a bit. Like I said, this turn I think nothing really is going to happen. I think we're just posturing around. He is seeing if he can come up and position a protection shot with this crossbowman. This last dead at arm, since I know we're not engaging and it's going to be a turn or two, he's going to run back and get this last relic and just secure it. But so he positioned the knight to come up here and provide protection for his crossbowmen so that his crossbowmen can, um, you know, take a shot at my skeleton archer without, getting really retaliated since they're both range 8. So he's playing Valorous Command. He's going to be able to shoot my skeleton. That's fine. It's a hit, so it leaves him on 3. And this is kind of one of the sneaky things that I like about Ingor compared to other Swarm decks like the Shaman deck is that um, it allows you the ability to kind of throw models out there as bait, to kind of invite them in. Because all your units, the majority of your units are 2 and 3 cost, right? So even if they're killing 5, 6, like models, like they're only getting like 10 to 15, you know, mastery for it, and you can actually lose quite a bit of your army without losing the game compared to the Shaman deck, which is, Auric with like twin blades and shamans and priests and other 4+ cost maulers. Losing even 3 of those is 12 mastery, which is kind of a lot. And I found playing that Shaman deck that you lose a couple models and all of a sudden you realize you lost the game, and it kind of just happens out of nowhere. But in this case, I've lost like 5 or 6 models, and I'm still, only giving up 15ish mastery, which is quite significant, and benefiting from the legacy to gain echo on top of that. So here he did kill that spearman, but it's kind of brought it so that Rogarth is kind of way far forward compared to the majority of his force. There's that crossbowman and knight that is kind of behind him, but he even deploys more conservative with more crossbowmen back, as well as Sigrith doesn't want her to just get killed out of nowhere. But by doing so, it's really split his forces. I mean, all those priests in the back there, they're not really going to be able to contribute in a meaningful way. He has no cards in hand here, so really praying doesn't, like, I don't care. Like, he could have all the echo in the world. It's not going to impact the game any more than where we are at round 3, and drawing 2 cards a turn, right? Sigrith has no ability to draw cards or anything like that, so um, I think those priests are kind of not impacting the game being as far back. I mean, I'd rather have them up front where they can heal, or they can, they're shooting with, 1 attack, 3/1 damage profile. It's not nothing, right? Any kind of a damage contributes, especially against my small stuff that just has very low HP. So here, I have the snap chain on one of the skeleton archers. My thought here is I'm going to create a pocket to try to pull Rogarth in, and then I'll get one shot at this to try to walk up, shoot him, pull him in, and then everything can kind of just like maul him to death, which is why if you look at there's kind of like this U shape that I have built. So. And a lot of the stuff I have in the deck hits, like the damage that the deck puts out is I guess it's not obvious, right? Like the Stitch Corpses, when they're hitting with Swarm, they're doing 4/3 damage, which, I mean, 3 damage on a graze is ridiculous amount of damage. So that's a lot. The corpses, or the death throws from the Cursos Boar, or the, you know uh, what the bigger guys that have death throws for, as well as corpse explosions that are in the deck, or cataclysmic blasts, or, there's a lot of things that you're throwing out a lot of damage, and it doesn't come all at once, but it's just a lot of this chip damage where you're taking 3 here and 1 there and 2 there, like just a lot over time. As well as the AoE damage that this deck just kind of puts out. Even the Dire from the Curse of Boars, just taking 1, it's a lot of damage that's kind of deceiving in how much it can put out, especially with all these tiny little bodies, right? So here he comes. He's going to cleave a bunch of stuff. I think he's getting a little greedy. So he has the free move and then the Fang attack and then 2 action points. Um, so he gets the cleave. This is going to do 6 damage, but the Stitch Corpse has resistance, so it doesn't kill him after the explosion and the hit. So now he is debating whether he wants to do another attack and run away, which he finally does. So he has done the free attack initially, which he probably should have done second. But I think his initial idea was just kill the corpse explosion guy and then run away. Once he realized he couldn't kill the Stitch Corpse, I think that's when he said, "Okay, I'll use my first AP to finish off this Stitch Corpse, and then 1 action point to just move 9 inches away." Um, which, I think was his downfall. He kind of forgot about the snap chain here. So here, this is exactly what I was kind of thinking, where I'd line up the shot, shoot him, and then pull him 19 inches. So luckily I hit, pull him 6, which doesn't bring him nearly as close as I wanted him to, but that's all right. It still brought him, into the Terric Beast, and, there's another Terric Beast as well as Thrice there to kind of start chipping away at him. Here I'm doing Chaotic Bargain. I have nothing to discard. Again, Chaotic Bargain, a card that I feel like has all upside. I was very low on it initially, but the fact that if you roll the odd number, you discard a card and then draw a card. The discard procs the legacy, so you do actually get to gain 2 echo from it. So if you play it on Shattered Halls, you're actually gaining 1 echo on it, which is pretty good. Otherwise, it just pays for itself. And then obviously, whenever you roll an even number, drawing 2 cards with all the echo that you're usually generating from the legacy and the small cost bodies is usually just really a great accelerator in terms of putting out more aggression. So this, again, no cards in hand. He's getting super low here. And again, I have 3 relics, 1 on Thrice, 1 on the Skeleton Archer, and then the 1 on this other man or dead at arms back here. So I'm just looking for 10 mastery. That's the only that's he is if this game went on indefinitely, he would definitely kill everything on the table. I just need to sneak out a way to get 10 mastery. That's all I'm looking for. He's running the knight up to kind of, help protect Rogarth here. So give him additional 12 hit points. But, that again is also giving me the ability to, if I kill both of them now, that wins me the game. So. Those were both my attacks on the Terric Beast. So the Terric Beast trying to hit Rogarth, and he protected them. Took one of them and then protected the other one to the knight. And then I think I'm going to skip ahead here. He's, not only that, but I've kind of have him in a choke point here. So he's now realizing he has to kind of run around to get all his bodies and force into it because he wants to leave a gap open for Sigrith to get in there next to Rogarth. So this Revenant, seeing that he's not going to have a really an easy path, is deciding to run around and try to take on my my archer and other kind of squishy things, make me drop a relic, right? I'm sure in his mind now he's realizing that I'm going to lose this game soon, so I have to bring him down in mastery, and the only way to do that is by killing relic holders. Thrice with energy drain, regen 3, and an extra 5 hit points is just, it would be near impossible for him to die, especially with the not ignoring all glances and stuff. Like, putting the heart on him makes him so he's almost near unkillable. Um, so I think his thought here is, all right, I need to start running around to be able to get on this dead at arms as well as the skeleton archer to begin killing them and bringing his mastery down. Um, Thrice I just kind of move up, but I still want to leave space so I can deploy more, right? That's another critical part when you're playing all lists, but even more so in um, the uh, like swarm type lists is you don't want to get shut off from deployments, right? So I have the skeleton archer back. I feel very comfortable he can't get anything, um, within range with what he has left to kind of engage him and turn off my deployments. And then with this last dead at arms, as you saw, with the free move and a charge, I was able to get him in and do a little bit more damage. So both the Rogarth and the Knight are extremely low here. This is his big mistake. He keeps on praying with the priest. I mean, he has like 100 echo now, it probably feels like. I would have, this one he runs up both, but two of them he only walked up and prayed. I would have just ran all of them forward to be able to contribute next round. But yeah. So I'm going to skip ahead here a little bit. Sigrith does eventually get up here. And I think she's able to do an attack, or I think she was able to charge the Terric Beast and probably kill this as well. Nope, she only ran up, I guess. Oh, because she needed the movement to get on the pathways to get up. Otherwise, she didn't have range. That's why. All right, so I'm at 12 Echo. If trying to steal initiative here, I don't expect to win. I just really want him to burn a card, which is what I do, because now he's down to just one card left. And I am seeing a corpse explosion play here, which is going to be a lot of, there's now that everything's coming in, it's going to just be a lot of damage. So we'll play that as well as the 2, and I have 0 cards in hand, but I expect something to die, so that should give me enough to corpse explosion later turn. So he's activating first. I'm totally expecting him to kill something. He actually heals Rogarth 10 HP, which is not great for me. But I have a lot of bodies in here. Angor can shoot through that little gap. I am totally still feel comfortable that I'm able to kill him. Oh, and then he railed the Fang. So this was kind of critical. He took 3 damage on the Fang, rolled a 1, and then does 1 point of damage to the Terric Beast. Here's the 2 Echo that I knew I was going to get, but can't play that, unfortunately, so I have to discard it. But I do get my 2 Echo, which now brings the Corpse Explosion online that's in my hand. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, he's killed, it feels like, quite a bit of units, but it's only like, what has he killed? He's killed a skeleton, and then a Stitch Corpse, and a 2 Terric, or a Curse Spawn and a Terric Beast, so it's only 9 mastery worth of stuff for 4 models. Do a flip over the Corpse Explosion, but I am not in position to really cast it. Don't really want to blow up a bunch of my own guys and do a bunch of damage. So that's just another 2 Echo. And he's just going through and cleaving everything right now with Rogarth. So Rogarth being a champion right now. So my first activation is this Dead at Arms, and I'm just looking to get him out of dodge because I cannot drop the relic that's on him, um, because that would bring me down 10 mastery, and then I would have to kill, either pick it up, which seems impossible with how many bodies are around there. Just any relic that drops there is going to be engaged forever and like near impossible to pick up. So he gets the free movement from the boots, doesn't provoke retaliation, and then I'm taking a second action to move him all the way back behind this pillar where it's hard to draw line of sight. But before he does, I do want to attack. So just making use of him to do the one hit. I do hit, which is lucky, and then getting a little bit of damage in there, and then getting him out of dodge to essentially set up a way to win this game. And note, I did transfer this chain onto Ingor, which gives him a little bit of burst damage because he can hopefully hit and pull and do another 3 damage when he pulls him in with that shot. So. So my vision right now is to this full health Terric Beast, right? The models I can lose are the Skeleton Archer as well as the Terric Beast. So I'm looking to potentially Corpse Explosion either of those, which is going to do 6 damage across the Knight as well as Rogarth. So that's essentially what I'm looking to do. Kill the Knight. He has no cards in hand, so he can't prevent it. And then it's going to do 3 more damage to the Rogarth. I'm also going to get an attack in there, which hits. So this is going to leave Rogarth on 1. Oh no, actually it kills him right here because the swarm on him. So this is, everything's kind of gone my way. I was really lucky on my hits with the Dead at Arms hitting as well as the Terric Beast. But I had additional ways to drop both of them with Ingor shooting, and I would take attacks for retaliation, as well as the Thrice there to kind of finish him off, as well as the skeleton. So definitely ways that I could have done to, um, you know, or contingencies really to just secure both of those things dying. But yeah, 9 plus 5, 14, plus the 3 relics. This is going to go up to 44. So this pretty much secures the game for me. And now I just need to make sure nothing dies. So, victory has been, the condition has been met. The rest of the game is just running away now to ensure that I hang on to that mastery. And because, as we talked about earlier in the game, his army being kind of split, Rogarth getting way out ahead, his priest really not taking the opportunity to double run up the board, it kind of leaves him out of position and unable to really affect the board in any meaningful way after this. So here I remember Ingor's ability to kind of look at cards and stuff before I flip them. I don't even know what I'm really looking for at this point, because I don't think there's any spells that are really going to help me. I'm just trying to really get away. So, relic comes down. Don't even care about picking this up. At this point, my next 2 high priority activations is with Ingor and Thrice, and those are both to just run as far away as possible, so these crossbowmen really can't shoot me, as well as the priest, or the knight or the revenant for that matter. So yeah, I think that this is, in terms of competitive decks, I think Ingor is a very competitive deck, especially in this build. I haven't played it into Landrill yet, or some of the other, stronger, like I guess Thundersteps is another one with all the Lodal bodies and Cleave and stuff that I'd be interested to play this in. So a little bit more testing, but I'm very high on this deck right now and the swarm mechanics. So I don't know. I think with Landrill, this has Landrill loses just if you can out damage the protection bubble, right? With so many actions and activations, and the AoEs from corpse explosions or death throws, it definitely feels like it can deal with her quite handily. So I'd be interested to test those, but I think in terms of battle reports, expect to see quite a few more games from this Ingor deck specifically, and then we'll probably cap it off with a deck review once I kind of tweak everything and get to make all the right adjustments in terms of how I feel the best version of this deck is. Um, so yeah, as we mentioned, his Revenant, he was measuring out, really can't get to anything. Ingor is running away, and now Thrice is going to double move and run away. He's more tankier than Ingor, so I'm actually putting him in front. I mean, he has 20 health right now, as well as all the ignoring glances. So if I can block out line of sights or charge lanes, great. I just can't let this Knight or the Dead at Arms or Ingor die, and I'll win the game. And I think at this point we're kind of calling it. His Knight can't really get to that Dead at Arms. I go with the Skeleton Archer to just shift again and block off even more line of sight. And it's at this point, I think we just kind of call it here. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of this deck, or any thoughts on the game. Always happy to engage with you through the comments section or on Discord. Otherwise, if you could please like and subscribe the video, we'd appreciate it. Otherwise, see you until next time.